I found the hotel receipt in his jacket pocket while doing laundry. Room 604. 2 nights. But my husband told me he was at a work conference 3 hours away. When I checked our credit card statement, I saw something that made my blood run cold. The room was charged under 2 names. His name. And another man's name. What happened next changed my life forever. If you've ever felt betrayed by someone you trusted completely, this story is for you. Hit that subscribe button, like, and leave a comment where you're watching from, because you need to hear how this ends. Trust me, you won't see it coming. My name is Rebecca, but everyone calls me Becca. I'm 34 years old, and I work as a financial analyst at one of the biggest accounting firms in Chicago. I've always been good with numbers. They make sense to me. 2 plus 2 always equals 4. There's no confusion. No lies and no betrayal. I wish I could say the same about my marriage. My husband's name is Marcus. We met in college 12 years ago. He was studying architecture and I was finishing my finance degree. He was charming and confident. The kind of guy who could walk into any room and make everyone laugh. I fell for him hard. By our second year of dating, I knew he was the one. We got married when I was 26. It was a beautiful wedding. My parents spent a fortune on it. White roses everywhere. A string quartet. Marcus cried when I walked down the aisle. I remember thinking, this is it. This is my forever person. For the first few years, everything was perfect. We bought a small house in the suburbs. I got promoted twice at work. Marcus started his own architecture firm with 2 partners. We talked about having kids. We talked about growing old together. We talked about everything, except the truth. The cracks started showing about 2 years ago. Marcus became distant. He worked late more often. He started going to the gym at odd hours. He bought new clothes. Expensive cologne. He updated his entire wardrobe, actually. I noticed, but I didn't think much of it. I thought maybe he was just trying to look good for his clients. Architects have to impress people, right? Then came the business trips. Marcus started traveling for work. At first, it was once a month. Then twice a month. Then every single week. He said his firm was expanding. They were bidding on big projects in other cities. He had to meet with investors, tour sites, network with developers. It all sounded reasonable. I trusted him completely. That was my first mistake. The second mistake was ignoring my gut. You know that feeling when something is wrong, but you can't quite put your finger on it? That nagging sensation in the back of your mind that whispers, "Pay attention." I had that feeling for months, but I pushed it down. I told myself I was being paranoid. I told myself that successful marriages require trust. I was so stupid. The hotel receipt changed everything. It was a Tuesday morning. I was doing laundry before work like I always do. Marcus had left early for a client breakfast. I was sorting through his dirty clothes when I found his gray blazer, the one he wore to his conference last weekend. I checked the pockets before throwing it in the wash. That's when I felt the paper. It was crumpled, like he'd shoved it in there quickly and forgotten about it. I pulled it out and smoothed it flat. The Grand Apex Hotel. Room 604. 2 nights. Check-in Friday. Check-out Sunday. My heart started pounding. Marcus told me his conference was at the Marriott downtown. This was a completely different hotel, and it was in a different city. Why would he lie about where he stayed? I sat down on the bedroom floor, still holding the receipt. My hands were shaking. There had to be an explanation. Maybe the conference changed locations. Maybe his company booked him at a different hotel. Maybe it was a mistake. But deep down I knew. I knew something was very, very wrong. I grabbed my phone and opened our shared credit card account. I scrolled through the recent charges. There it was. The Grand Apex Hotel. Charged 3 days ago. But there was something else. Something that made me feel like I was going to throw up. The room was charged under 2 names. Marcus Holloway and Damian Cross. Damian Cross? I stared at the name. I'd never heard of it before. Who was Damian Cross? Was this a business partner? A client? Or a colleague? Or was it someone else entirely? I did what any suspicious wife would do. I Googled him. Damian Cross. I am 32 years old. Personal trainer. Lived in the same city where Marcus supposedly had his conference. His Instagram was public. I clicked on it. My stomach dropped. His profile was full of photos. Gym selfies. Vacation pictures. Photos with friends. And then I saw it. A photo from 3 weeks ago. Damien was at a restaurant. Nice place.
Candlelight.
Wine glasses on the table. And sitting across from him, smiling like he didn't have a wife at home, was Marcus. The caption said, "Date night with my favorite person." I felt like the floor had disappeared beneath me. I couldn't breathe. My chest was tight. My vision blurred. I read the caption again and again, hoping I'd misunderstood. But there was no misunderstanding. Date night. My husband was on a date. With a man. I scrolled through more photos. There were others. Damien and Marcus at a bar. Damien and Marcus hiking. Damien and Marcus at a beach. Some photos were recent. Some were from months ago. And in every single one, they looked happy and comfortable. Like a couple. I felt like I was watching my life fall apart in real time. I sat there on the bedroom floor for I don't know how long. Maybe 10 minutes. Maybe an hour. Time didn't make sense anymore. My mind was racing. How long has this been going on? Did Marcus love him? Was he planning to leave me? Did everyone know except me? And then the worst thought of all hit me. Was I just the cover? Was I the perfect wife he showed to the world while he lived his real life in secret? I felt humiliated.
Betrayed.
Angry and heartbroken. All at the same time. But I didn't cry.
Not yet.
I was too shocked to cry. I heard the front door open. Marcus was home. "Becca? Are you still here?" he called from downstairs. I quickly closed Instagram and shoved my phone in my pocket. I stood up, my legs shaky. I looked at myself in the mirror. I looked normal. Put it together. Like my entire world hadn't just shattered. "Yeah, I'm upstairs," I called back. My voice sounded steady.
Calm.
Like nothing was wrong. Marcus came up the stairs. He was carrying coffee. 2 cups.
He handed one to me.
"Thought you might need this before work," he said, smiling. I had coffee. I looked at his face. The face I'd loved for 12 years. The face I'd kissed goodbye 1,000 times. The face I thought I knew better than my own. "Thanks," I said. He kissed my forehead. "Love you. Have a good day." "You too," I said automatically. He left for work. I stood there, holding the coffee, staring at nothing. That was the moment I decided. I wasn't going to confront him.
Not yet.
I wasn't going to cry or scream or beg for answers. I was going to be smart. I was going to gather evidence. I was going to protect myself. And then, when the time was right, I was going to make sure Marcus regretted every single lie he ever told me. Because I'm good with numbers. I'm good at planning. And I'm very, very good at making sure things add up. The next 2 weeks were the hardest of my life. I went to work every day. I smiled at my coworkers. I answered emails. I sat through meetings. I analyzed financial reports. I did everything I was supposed to do. But inside, I was dying. At home, I played the role of the perfect wife. I cooked dinner. I asked Marcus about his day. I laughed at his jokes. I kissed him goodnight. And every single second of it felt like swallowing glass. Because I knew the truth.
And he didn't know that I knew.
I became a detective. I started watching him more carefully. I noticed things I'd missed before. The way he smiled at his phone when he thought I wasn't looking. The way he took calls in the other room. The way he showered immediately after coming home from the gym. The way he kept his phone face down on the table. I checked our credit card statements every single day. I saw charges I couldn't explain. Dinners at expensive restaurants on nights he said he was working late. Hotel rooms in cities he never mentioned visiting. Charges at stores I'd never heard of. One charge caught my attention. A jewelry store. $800. I never received any jewelry. I felt sick. I created a secret folder on my laptop. I took screenshots of everything. Every receipt. Every charge. Every photo from Damien's Instagram. I saved it all. I organized it by date. I built a timeline of their relationship. It went back almost 2 years. 2 years. My husband had been cheating on me with a man for 2 years, and I had no idea. I thought about all the times he'd touched me in those 2 years. All the times he'd said he loved me. All the times we'd made plans for our future. It was all a lie. Every bit of it. I wanted to scream. I wanted to break things. I wanted to confront him and demand answers. But I didn't. I stayed calm. I stayed focused. Because I knew that if I acted too quickly, I'd lose my advantage. I needed more information. I decided to follow him. It sounds crazy, I know. Like something from a movie. But I had to see it with my own eyes. I had to know for sure. It happened on a Thursday night. Marcus told me he had a late client meeting. He'd be home around 10. He left the house at 7. I waited 15 minutes. Then I got in my car and drove to his office. His car wasn't there. I felt my heart pounding. I drove around the area, looking for his black BMW. I found it 20 minutes later, parked outside a trendy restaurant downtown. The kind of place with dim lighting and craft cocktails and small portions on big plates. I parked across the street. I could see inside through the large windows. Marcus was there, sitting at a corner table. And across from him, smiling and laughing, was Damien. They looked so comfortable together. So natural. Marcus reached across the table and took Damien's hand. Damien squeezed it. They were talking about something. I couldn't hear what. But I could see the way they looked at each other. It was the way Marcus used to look at me. I sat in my car and watched them for an hour. I watched them eat. I watched them laugh. I watched Marcus pay the bill. I watched them walk out of the restaurant together. I watched Marcus put his arm around Damien's waist. And then I watched them kiss. Right there. On the sidewalk. In public. Where anyone could see. It wasn't a quick kiss. It was a long, deep kiss. The kind of kiss that means something. I gripped the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. Tears finally came. Hot, angry tears that blurred my vision. I wanted to get out of the car. I wanted to walk over there and scream at both of them. I wanted to make a scene. I wanted everyone to know what Marcus had done. But I didn't. I sat there and cried silently while my husband kissed another man. They got into Damien's car and drove away. I followed them. I don't know why. Maybe I needed to see how far the betrayal went. They drove to Damien's apartment. A nice building. Modern. Expensive looking. They went inside together. I sat outside for 2 hours. I watched the light in what I assumed was Damien's apartment. I imagined what they were doing up there. I felt sick. Angry and broken. At 11:30, Marcus came out. Alone. He got in his car and drove home. I waited 10 minutes. Then I drove home too. I got there 5 minutes after him. When I walked in, Marcus was on the couch, watching TV. "Hey babe," he said casually. "How was your night?" "Fine," I said. My voice was flat and empty. "The client meeting ran long," he said, not looking at me. "Sorry I'm late." "It's okay," I lied. I went upstairs. I locked myself in the bathroom. I turned on the shower so he wouldn't hear me cry. And I sobbed. I sobbed until my throat hurt and my eyes were swollen and I had no tears left. When I finally came out, Marcus was asleep in our bed, snoring softly and peacefully, like he hadn't just spent the evening with his lover. I stood there looking at him. He was a complete stranger to me. And I made a decision. I wasn't just going to leave him. I wasn't just going to divorce him. I was going to destroy him completely. I was going to take everything he cared about and burn it to the ground. Because he didn't just cheat on me. He humiliated me. He made me feel like I wasn't enough. He made me question everything about myself. He stole 2 years of my life. And he was going to pay for it. The next morning, I called in sick to work. I needed time to think. To plan. Marcus left for the office like normal. As soon as he was gone, I went through everything. I found his second phone hidden in his car. Yes, he had a second phone. I found it in the glove compartment, underneath some old receipts. It was an iPhone. Passcode protected, of course. But I knew Marcus. He's not creative with passwords. I tried our anniversary. Wrong. I tried his birthday.
Wrong.
I tried his mom's birthday.
Wrong.
Then I tried Damien's birthday. I found it on his Instagram. It unlocked. My hands were shaking as I opened his messages. There were hundreds of texts between Marcus and Damien. Sweet messages. Dirty messages. Plans to meet. Photos I wish I'd never seen. I read through all of them. Every single one. It was torture. But I needed to know everything. In one message, Marcus said, "I wish I could just leave her. But the timing isn't right. I need to wait until the firm is more stable." In another, "You're the only person who really knows me. She has no idea who I actually am." In another, "I'm planning to file for divorce next year. I just need to get my finances in order first." Next year. He was planning to leave me next year. And he was going to blindside me with it. He was going to prepare everything in secret while I lived in ignorance. But now I know. And knowledge is power. I took photos of everything on that phone. Every message. Every photo. Every call log. Then I put the phone back exactly where I found it. I spent the rest of the day researching divorce lawyers. I needed someone ruthless. Someone who would fight for me. Someone who wouldn't let Marcus walk away with anything. I found her. Catherine Morrison, top divorce attorney in Chicago. Known for destroying cheating spouses in court. Her retainer was $15,000. I paid for it that afternoon. We met the next day. I brought all my evidence. The screenshots. The credit card statements. The photos from the second phone. Everything. Catherine looked through it all. When she finished, she looked at me with something like respect. "You've done excellent work here," she said. "Most people come to me with nothing but suspicions. You've built an airtight case." "I'm a financial analyst," I said. "I'm good at finding patterns." "Well, your husband is about to learn a very expensive lesson," Catherine said. "With this evidence, we can go for fault-based divorce. Adultery. We can fight for a bigger share of marital assets. And if his behavior affected any joint business dealings, we might even have grounds for additional claims." "I want everything," I said. My voice was cold and hard. "I want the house. I want half his business. I want him to feel what I felt." Catherine smiled. "Then let's get started." Catherine worked fast. Within 3 days, she had a complete strategy. "Here's what we're going to do," she said, spreading documents across her desk. "We're going to hit him from multiple angles. Legal, financial, and social. By the time we're done, Marcus won't know what happened." I leaned forward. "Tell me everything." First, the legal angle. Illinois is technically a no-fault divorce state, but adultery still matters when it comes to asset division. With your evidence, we can argue that Marcus wasted marital assets on his affair. Every hotel room, every dinner, and every gift. That's money he took from your marriage and gave to his lover. "How much are we talking about?" I asked. Catherine pulled up a spreadsheet. She'd already calculated it. Based on the credit card statements you provided, approximately $47,000 over 2 years. That's money that should have gone to your joint savings, your mortgage, and your future. Instead, he spent it on Damien. $47,000. I felt sick. That was almost half of my annual salary.
Gone.
Wasted on lies. "Can we get that back?" I asked. "We can ask for it to be considered in the asset division," Catherine said. "The judge will take it into account. But there's something better we can do." "What?" "We can go after his business." I sat up straighter.
"How?"
Catherine smiled. It was the smile of a predator who just spotted prey. "You said Marcus owns his architecture firm with 2 partners, correct?"
"Yes."
"James and Robert. They started it 5 years ago. And how involved are you in the business?" "Not very," I admitted. "I know they have big clients. Some commercial projects. Some residential. But Marcus always handled that side of things." "Does he have a morality clause in his partnership agreement?" Catherine asked. I blinked. "I have no idea." "Most professional partnerships do," Catherine explained. "It protects the business from scandal. If one partner does something that damages the firm's reputation, the others can force him out. And Becca, What do you think happens when Marcus's clients find out he's been lying to everyone? When they find out he's been living a double life? I started to understand. They'll lose trust in him.
Exactly.
Architecture is a relationship business. Clients need to trust their architect. If Marcus has been lying to his own wife for 2 years, why would they trust him with their million-dollar projects? His partners will force him out, I said slowly. If we play this right, yes, Catherine said. And when they do, you'll be entitled to half the value of his share in the business, which, according to the business valuation I pulled, is worth approximately $800,000. $800,000, I asked. I felt something shift inside me. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. This was about justice. This was about making sure I didn't walk away from this broken and empty-handed. But we need to be strategic, Catherine continued. We can't just file for divorce and hope for the best. We need to control the narrative. We need to make sure everyone knows exactly what Marcus did. And we need to do it in a way that protects you.
How?
I asked. Catherine pulled out another document. We're going to send a letter to his business partners. A formal legal letter. It will outline Marcus's adultery and the waste of marital assets. It will express concern about how this behavior might affect the firm's reputation. It will be professional, factual, and devastating. Won't that seem aggressive? I asked. That's the point, Catherine said. We want them to panic. We want them to call an emergency meeting. We want them to confront Marcus before he has time to prepare. And when they do, he'll crumble. I thought about it. James and Robert were good guys. Conservative and traditional. They'd built their firm on a reputation for professionalism and integrity. If they found out about Marcus's double life, they'd be horrified. What about Damien? I asked. Can we do anything about him? Catherine's smile widened. I'm glad you asked. Tell me, does Damien know Marcus is married? I pulled out my phone and showed her the Instagram photos. Look at this caption. Date night with my favorite person. And this one. 2 years with you. He absolutely knows. Good, Catherine said. Because that gives us leverage.
How?
We're going to contact Damien, Catherine said. We're going to let him know that we have evidence of the affair. We're going to inform him that this evidence will be used in divorce proceedings. And we're going to suggest that it would be very unfortunate if his employer found out he'd been involved with a married man. Is that legal? I asked. We're not threatening him, Catherine said carefully. We're simply informing him of facts. What he does with that information is up to him. But I'm willing to bet he'll panic. And when people panic, they make mistakes. What kind of mistakes? Maybe he'll confront Marcus. Maybe he'll end the relationship. Maybe he'll send angry texts that we can use as additional evidence. The point is, we're going to drive a wedge between them. We're going to make Marcus feel alone.
Trapped.
Just like he made you feel. I sat back in my chair. My mind was racing. This was bigger than I'd imagined. This wasn't just a divorce. This was a calculated dismantling of Marcus's entire life. There's one more thing, Catherine said. The house. What about it? It's in both your names, correct? Yes. And you've been making the mortgage payments from your joint account?
Yes.
I actually handle all our finances. I pay all the bills. Catherine nodded. Perfect. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to stop making payments from the joint account. We're going to open a new account in your name only. You're going to transfer your salary there. And you're going to start making the mortgage payments from your personal account. Why? I asked. Because when we file for divorce, we're going to argue that you've been the primary financial contributor to the household. Marcus has been wasting money on his affair while you've been responsible and stable. That strengthens our case for you keeping the house. But won't stopping the joint account payments alert him that something's wrong? I asked. Probably, Catherine said. But by the time he notices, it'll be too late. We'll have already filed. The clock will have already started. And he'll be playing catch-up for the rest of the process. I took a deep breath. When do we start? Immediately, Catherine said. Go home. Act normal. Don't let him suspect anything. In the meantime, I'll prepare all the paperwork. In exactly 1 week, we're We're going to serve him with divorce papers at his office, in front of his partners, while simultaneously sending them the letter about his affair. 1 week, I repeated. 1 week, Catherine confirmed. And Becca, by this time next month, Marcus's life will be completely destroyed. Are you ready for that? I thought about the hotel receipt, the Instagram photos, $47,000, the secret phone, the 2 years of lies, the way he kissed Damien on that sidewalk while I sat in my car crying. Yes, I said. I'm ready. That night, I went home and cooked Marcus's favorite meal.
Steak.
Garlic and mashed potatoes. Roasted vegetables. I set the table with candles. I poured wine, and I put on a nice dress. When Marcus came home, he looked surprised. What's all this? He asked. I just thought we could have a nice evening together, I said, smiling. We've both been so busy lately. I miss you. Marcus looked uncomfortable. Guilty, maybe. That's sweet, babe, he said. Sorry I've been distant. Work has been crazy. I know, I said. That's why I wanted to do something special. We ate dinner. We talked about nothing important. Marcus told me about a new project his firm was bidding on. I pretended to be interested. I asked questions. I laughed at his jokes. The whole time, I was thinking, in 1 week, none of this will exist anymore. After dinner, we watched a movie on the couch. Marcus fell asleep halfway through. His head was on my shoulder. I looked down at him, at his face, peaceful and unaware. I felt nothing. No love, no anger, no sadness, just cold and empty. I carefully moved his head to a pillow and went upstairs. I opened my laptop and checked the secret folder where I kept all the evidence. Everything was still there, organized and documented. I opened a new document and started writing. I titled it, Letter to Marcus. I didn't plan to send it, but I needed to get my thoughts out. I needed to say everything I'd been holding inside for weeks. I wrote, Marcus, by the time you read this, if you ever do, everything will be over. Our marriage, your business, your reputation, and your relationship with Damien. Everything. And I want you to know that I'm not doing this out of anger. I'm not doing this for revenge. I'm doing this because you deserve it. You had a choice. Every single day for 2 years, you made a choice. You chose to lie.
You chose to cheat.
You chose to steal from me. You chose to waste our money on someone else. You chose to plan a future without me while pretending we still had one together. Those were your choices. And now you get to live with the consequences. I hope Damien was worth it. I hope those hotel rooms and fancy dinners and secret moments were worth losing everything. Because that's what's about to happen. You're going to lose everything. And the worst part? You'll have no one to blame but yourself. I loved you. I trusted you. I built a life with you. And you threw it all away for someone you had to hide. That's not love, Marcus. That's cowardice.
Goodbye.
I saved the document. I closed my laptop. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. 7 more days. I just had to survive 7 more days. The week crawled by like a dying animal. Every morning, I woke up next to Marcus and pretended everything was normal. Every evening, I came home and acted like the perfect wife. Every night, I went to bed knowing that soon, very soon, everything would change. On Wednesday, 3 days before the plan, Marcus told me he had to go on another business trip. Where to this time? I asked calmly.
Denver, he said.
Big potential client. I'll be gone Friday and Saturday. Back Sunday afternoon. Okay, I said. Good luck. As soon as he left for work, I called Catherine. He's going out of town this weekend, I said. Should we delay the serving? Absolutely not, Catherine said. In fact, this is perfect. While he's gone, you can move some of your personal belongings out of the house. That way, when he gets back and finds the divorce papers, you won't be there. You'll be safe. Safe. I repeated. You think he'll be violent? I don't know, Catherine said honestly. But I've seen people do crazy things when they're cornered. Better to be cautious. She was right. I didn't know how Marcus would react. The Marcus I married 12 years ago would never hurt me. But I didn't know Marcus anymore. The man sleeping next to me was a stranger. That Friday, Marcus left for his business trip to Denver. I knew where he was really going. Back to Damien. Another weekend of lies and hotel rooms and stolen moments. But this time I didn't care. Let him enjoy it. It was the last one he'd ever have. I spent Friday packing. Not everything. Just the important things. My clothes. My documents. My laptop. Family photos, and the jewelry my grandmother gave me. I loaded everything into my car and drove to a hotel across town. Catherine had arranged for the divorce papers to be served Monday morning at 9 a.m. Marcus would be back home Sunday night. He'd go to work Monday morning like normal. And then his world would explode. I spent the weekend in that hotel room, waiting. I ordered room service. I watched TV. I tried to read. Mostly, I just stared at my phone, watching the hours tick by. Sunday night, I texted Marcus. Hope your trip went well. I'm staying at my sister's tonight. She's having a rough time. See you tomorrow. He responded. Okay, babe. Tell Jen I said hi. Love you. Love you. I almost laughed. He had no idea what was coming. Monday morning, 9 a.m. I was sitting in Catherine's office when her phone rang. It's done, she said, hanging up. The process server just confirmed. Marcus was served in his office. Both of his business partners were present. My heart was pounding. And the letter? Delivered to James and Robert by courier at the same time. They're reading it right now. I felt like I was going to be sick. This was it. There was no going back now. What happens next? I asked. Now we wait, Catherine said. Marcus will call you. Probably within the next 10 minutes. Don't answer. Let him panic. Let him wonder. The more off balance he is, the better for us. She was right. My phone started ringing at 9:07 a.m. Marcus. I let it go to voicemail. He called again. And again. And again. By 9:30, I had 12 missed calls. At 10 o'clock, the voicemail started. Becca, what the hell is going on? Call me back. Now. Becca, this isn't funny. We need to talk. Call me. I just got divorce papers at my office. In front of my partners. What are you doing? Call me immediately. Becca, please. Please call me. We can work this out. Don't do this. His voice got progressively more desperate with each message. I listened to all of them. I felt nothing. At 11 o'clock, Catherine's phone rang again. It's Marcus's attorney, she said, checking the caller ID. That was fast. She answered. Catherine Morrison speaking. I couldn't hear the other side of the conversation, but I watched Catherine's face. She was smiling. Yes, I represent Mrs. Holloway. No, she's not interested in mediation. Because your client committed adultery and wasted over $47,000 in marital assets on his affair. Yes, we have documentation. Extensive documentation. No, we won't be settling quietly. My client wants her day in court. She hung up. Marcus already hired someone. Daniel Foster. He's good, but he's not that good. He wanted to know if we'd consider a quiet, fast settlement. What did you tell him? I asked. I told him we're going to trial, Catherine said. I want Marcus to sweat. I want him to spend money on legal fees. I want him to lie awake at night wondering what we're going to reveal next. My phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. Becca, please. I'm begging you. Let's talk before this goes any further. I know I made mistakes, but we can fix this. Please. Mistakes. He called 2 years of calculated deception mistakes. I showed Catherine the text. Don't respond, she said. Not yet. At 2 p.m., my phone rang again. This time it was an unknown number. Answer it, Catherine said. Put it on speaker. I answered. Hello. Is this Rebecca Holloway? A man's voice. Who is this? I asked. This is James Reeves, Marcus's business partner. We need to talk. I looked at Catherine. She nodded. I'm listening, I said. What the hell is going on? James demanded. We just received a letter from your attorney. It says Marcus has been having an affair, that he's been using company resources for personal matters, that he's been lying to us for years. Is this true? Yes, I said simply. All of it. There was silence on the other end. Then, Jesus Christ. Mr. Reeves, Catherine interjected. This is Catherine Morrison, Mrs. Holloway's attorney. I sent that letter as a courtesy. My client has extensive evidence of Mr. Holloway's infidelity and financial misconduct. We thought you and Mr. Chin deserved to know before it became public record. Public record? James's voice rose. You're going to make this public? Divorce proceedings are public, Mr. Reeves, Catherine said calmly. And given the nature of the case, it's likely to attract media attention. My client's husband spent nearly $50,000 of marital assets on his extramarital affair. That's newsworthy. This is going to destroy our firm, James said. He sounded devastated. We have 3 major projects in the pipeline. If our clients find out about this. That's not my client's concern, Catherine said coldly. She's been more than patient. She's been lied to and betrayed. Now she's simply seeking justice. James hung up without another word. Catherine smiled at me. That went well. Did it? I asked. I felt strange, detached, like I was watching all of this happen to someone else. Trust me, Catherine said. By the end of the day, Marcus will be out of that firm. And by the end of the week, everyone in his life will know what he did. She was right. At 4 p.m., I got a text from Marcus's mother. Rebecca, honey, what's happening? Marcus just called me crying. He says you're divorcing him. Please, can we talk? There must be some misunderstanding. I didn't respond. At 5:30, my sister called. Becca, oh my God. Marcus showed up at my apartment looking for you. He's a mess. He's saying you won't talk to him. What happened? He cheated on me, I said. For 2 years. With a man. Silence. Then, holy shit. Yeah, I said. Are you okay? Jen asked. Where are you? I'm fine. I'm safe. I'll explain everything later. Do you need me to come get you? She asked. Do you need a place to stay? No, I said. I'm handling it. I have a lawyer. We're taking care of everything. Becca, I'm so sorry, Jen said. Her voice cracked. I can't believe he did this to you. Me neither, I said. But I'm going to be okay. I promise. That night, I finally looked at social media. I'd been avoiding it all day, but I needed to know if word was spreading.
It was.
Someone had posted in a local Facebook group. Anyone know what's going on with Holloway and Associates? Heard one of the partners is getting divorced. Messy situation, apparently. The comments were already multiplying. I heard he was cheating. My friend works in that building. She said there was a huge scene this morning. Partner getting served divorce papers in front of everyone. Yikes. That's awkward. Cheating with who? I closed the app. I didn't need to see more. The machine was already in motion. The gossip would spread. The truth would come out. Marcus's reputation would be destroyed. Tuesday morning, Catherine called me. You need to see this. She sent me a link. It was a statement from Holloway and Associates, posted on their website. Effective immediately, Marcus Holloway is no longer a partner at Holloway and Associates. The firm is committed to maintaining the highest standards of professional ethics and integrity. We are restructuring as Chun and Reeves Architecture. All current projects will continue without disruption. We thank our clients for their continued trust. They forced him out, I said. They had no choice, Catherine said. I spoke with their attorney this morning. Apparently 3 clients called yesterday asking about the rumors. James and Robert decided they couldn't risk the firm's reputation. Marcus is out. And according to the partnership agreement, when a partner is removed for cause, they're only entitled to 30% of their ownership stakes value. How much is that? I asked. About $240,000, which means he just lost $560,000 because he couldn't keep his pants on. $560,000 gone. Because of his choices. I should have felt triumphant, but I just felt tired.
There's more, Catherine said.
I heard from Damien's attorney. Damien has an attorney? I asked, surprised. He retained one yesterday, Catherine said. Apparently after he found out about the divorce. His attorney called to inform us that Damien is ending his relationship with Marcus. He's also prepared to provide a statement if needed, confirming the affair. He wants to cooperate fully.
Why?
I asked. Why would he help us? Because he's scared, Catherine said simply. His employer is a high-end gym chain with a family-friendly image. If word gets out that he was sleeping with a married man, he could lose his job. So, he's trying to get ahead of it. He's painting himself as the victim, saying Marcus lied to him, told him he was separated, that sort of thing. That's not true, I said. He knew Marcus was married. I saw the Instagram posts. Doesn't matter, Catherine said. He's trying to save himself. But the important thing is, Marcus now has no one. His partners kicked him out. His lover abandoned him. His reputation is destroyed. He's completely alone. What about the assets? I asked. The house? His share of the business? Our savings. We're negotiating, Catherine said. His attorney wants to settle. They know we have all the leverage. I'm asking for the house, 60% of all marital assets, and his entire remaining share of the business to be liquidated and split, with you getting a larger portion due to his waste of marital funds. Will we get it? I asked. I think so, Catherine said. Marcus is desperate. He's going to agree to almost anything just to make this go away quietly. She was right. By Friday, we had a settlement agreement. I got the house. I got $180,000 from the liquidation of Marcus's business share. I got 70% of our savings and retirement accounts. Marcus got the rest, and a mountain of debt from legal fees. The divorce would be final in 6 months. But it was essentially over. I should have felt victorious. I should have felt satisfied. But mostly I just felt empty. It's been 6 months since I found that hotel receipt. The divorce is final now. I live alone in the house that used to be ours. I kept the garden but tore out the flowers Marcus planted. I replaced them with new ones. A fresh start. Marcus moved to a small apartment across town. I heard through mutual friends that he's working as a freelance architect now. No firm will hire him. His reputation is ruined. He tried to get back together with Damien, but Damien blocked him on everything. Apparently, the gym fired Damien anyway when the story got out, and he blames Marcus for it. Marcus's mother calls me sometimes.
She cries.
She asks me to forgive him. She says he made a mistake. She says I ruined his life. I never answer. I went back to therapy. My therapist says I'm processing trauma. She says it's normal to feel empty after something like this. She says the anger will fade, and eventually, I'll be able to move on. I'm not sure I believe her, but I'm trying. My sister asked me if I regret it. If I regret destroying Marcus's life so completely. I thought about it for a long time before I answered. No, I finally said. I don't regret it. He made choices. He lied. He cheated. He stole from me. Not just money.
Time. Trust.
2 years of my life that I can never get back. He was going to leave me anyway. He was going to blindside me with divorce papers and take half of everything, and I would have been left with nothing but questions. At least this way, I got answers. I got justice. I got to control my own story. But was it worth it? Jen asked. All the anger? All the revenge? Are you happy? Am I happy? I don't know. I'm not sad anymore. I'm not crying myself to sleep. I'm not wondering what I did wrong. I'm not blaming myself for not being enough. I'm free. And maybe that's not the same as happiness. But it's something. I got promoted at work last month. Senior financial analyst. It came with a raise and a corner office. My boss said I've been doing exceptional work. Focused. Driven and precise. I didn't tell her that destroying my ex-husband's life taught me valuable skills in strategic planning and execution. Some lessons you learn the hard way. I'm dating again. Nothing serious. Just dinners. Conversations. Reminding myself that not everyone is a liar. That trust is still possible, even if it's harder now. Last week, I saw Marcus at a coffee shop. He was alone working on a laptop. He looked older, tired and defeated. He saw me too. Our eyes met. He looked like he wanted to say something. Maybe apologize. Maybe yell. Maybe ask why. I looked away. I ordered my coffee, and I left. There was nothing left to say. Sometimes people ask me if I think he's learned his lesson. If I think he regrets what he did. I don't know. I don't care. His life isn't my concern anymore. But I'll tell you what I learned. I learned that you can love someone completely and not know them at all. I learned that trust is fragile and precious, and once it's broken, it can never be fully repaired. I learned that sometimes the person hurting you is the person sleeping next to you every night. And I learned that I'm stronger than I ever thought possible. Strong enough to leave. Strong enough to fight. Strong enough to rebuild. People say revenge doesn't solve anything. That it doesn't make you feel better. That it's empty and pointless. Maybe they're right. But I'll tell you this. I sleep better now than I did when I was married. I wake up every morning and I don't have to wonder if I'm enough. I don't have to question reality. I don't have to pretend. I'm free. And that's worth everything. If you've ever been betrayed, if you've ever felt like you weren't enough, if you've ever had to rebuild your life from nothing, you're not alone. Drop a comment and let me know your story. Hit that subscribe button and like for more real-life revenge stories. And remember, you're stronger than you think. Sometimes you just have to prove it to yourself.